So today, this is a little bit late, but I am making an Irish soda bread. So in 2 cups of Mixquick. Mixquick, for those who have not seen the videos, because I've cooked with this stuff a lot, basically because it already has the baking soda that is required in the Irish soda bread. That's where the soda comes from. It is not soda pop. The Mixquick is the medical version of Bisquick. So, whereas Mixquick is medically prescribed, and you have to have a doctor's prescription for it, Bisquick you do not. It is store-bought, and it's going to be a lot cheaper. So the store-bought version of Bisquick, you're going to want the original Bisquick, and that one is that one is $4.89 for 2 pounds. Actually, for 40 ounces, so it's a little bit over that. It's about 8 ounces over that. For 2 pounds of Mixquick, or 32 ounces, it is $16.99. So quite a difference in the price there. This is medically prescribed, so they do have to do a lot of different things to it. Mainly, we have a problem with an amino acid. So to this, I am adding in some salt. As I said, the Mixquick already has the baking soda in it, and so does Bisquick. So I'm going to do that. And now, and I'm just using my hands for this. I am going to add in, this is half a stick or 4 tablespoons of Irish butter. So I have Kerrygold butter, which is a pure unsalted butter. And this is grated. So this you're going to want to mix in so it is incorporated well. And so that's why I have it grated. Butter is an optional thing. And it is not so it's not required. It's kind of like an egg. With Mixquick, it works pretty well without it. I don't know if I could say the same for Bisquick. I don't cook with it a lot. But I know that Bisquick also has the baking soda in it. So you may want to add an egg if you're using Bisquick. You can add an egg for this. However, if you're on a low protein diet, it will add about 6 grams of protein to your diet, to the bread. So just keep that in mind if you have a low tolerance. This is actually a pretty cheap recipe, and you can make this for probably under $2, and which is how it actually got started. And this dates back to the 1890s, and Indians were actually the first to use baking soda in their bread. However, this is a pretty cheap thing, as I said, and it was a time where they were not so stable financially. So, let's see. So if you're going by the ounce, it's probably less than $3. So I'm gonna mix this in, and we're gonna make a well in it. And so if you do need further instruction, there are several videos on YouTube that do this regular. But we want to make this into a well. And last time I was on, you can go back and watch that video, I made a dairy-free buttermilk. That one had 2 cups of oat milk mixed in with 5 tablespoons of lemonade. I couldn't try it with the original amount. It was about, it called for 2 cups or 1 tablespoon per cup. And I couldn't taste it, so I just added some more. I like lemonade. I like lemon juice. If you prefer sugar, if you prefer not to have it so bitter or sour, you may want to add in some sugar to this. You can also use olive oil. You can also use not olive oil. You can use a vinegar. So I'm going to pour this in. And now we're going to start working it. So the thing is not to overmix it. Since the low protein diet is fairly low in calories, butter is an excellent source of calories. And although it's not vegan, that is why we add it in. We're not on this because of an allergy. We're on this because of a problem with an amino acid in protein. Every condition has a different amino acid. With PKU, which is probably the most common of them, the problem is phenylalanine. With my condition, homocystinuria, that amino acid is methionine. This actually works anyway because I can show you how I mix it. You don't want to overwork it. Okay, since there's not that much, I will add in the rest of the Mixquick. But I do want to get this off my hands again. It's okay if there's a little bit of lumps in here. Next, we're going to be adding this into a cast iron pan. And the reason why you're going to want the cast iron pan is because we're putting this at a pretty high temperature. If you don't have a cast iron pan, you want to use something that will tolerate a really high temperature. At this point in time, I do have the oven set at 450. We will be lowering it to 400 after 10 minutes. And I'm going to transfer this over to the smaller pan because this one is way too big. So I'm just going to pick this up and transfer. Same process, we do have to, form it into a round again. But I didn't think this smaller pan was going to be big enough for a double recipe. As it turns out, it is. I like my bread, so that's why I decided to double it. And carbs are, ironically enough, one of the better things for us. Not for diabetics, but they are for us. Our diet is about the opposite of a diabetic. And most people, anyway. So, goes to show you what's healthy for one is not healthy for another. But I do my best to make everything healthy, or at least for most. So, there is a variety of different healthy things on there. But the thing is, I also have to go low protein. I do not care for another stroke. But the butter actually does pretty good for this too. But as you can see, the Mixquick really helps. I mean, the butter really helps it too. So the egg really isn't needed. And if you want to make this gluten-free, you can too. I do use wheat starch a lot. I didn't look at that because it's not as important for us as it would be for somebody with celiac. Yep, we still have plenty of room in there. Alright. That's as good as I'm gonna get. So, I may move this closer to the center of the pan where it cooks better. You're going to want this on a center rack also. Things tend to cook better in the middle of the oven. Again, lumps are, don't worry about them. We don't want this to be perfect. So don't overwork it. It turns out better if you don't. And so ideally, if this isn't done after a half hour, you can stick it a little longer. Is you want the crust to be crispy, and you want it to be golden brown. So I don't like to force religion on anybody, but I will carve the X in it, mainly because it's a traditional thing. But so I'm just gonna go like that. It doesn't have to be all the way down. Again, we're not trying for perfection. But this will probably move in the oven anyway. It's probably better if you don't go all the way down with the eggs. Okay. I'm gonna get that a little more round. I am a perfectionist, but you don't want to overwork it again. So. There. Now it's ready for the oven. I didn't, so maybe I will, but this is how how I saw it before in that video. I just poke some holes around the side, and that's supposed to release the fairies. And that's something that not all videos show. That would be a traditional Irish thing. You're not going to get very far grating the butter either if you do it with a softened stick. So you want this to be refrigerated and pretty hard. The bread is now done. It turned out beautifully. I just forgot to grease the pan. So don't forget that step, but turned out amazing. Other than that, so it is stuck to the pan. Anyway, other than that, turned out great. So if you like the videos, please like, subscribe, share, comment, and thanks for your time.